I'm here with Grant Jameson. It's great to see you, Grant, after all these years.
Yeah, it's great to see you as well.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this interview. So, this is just basically for all our followers and viewers out there, a bit of a get to know yourself and what you're doing and where you're doing it. And as you can imagine, we've got people from not just in the United States, but also in the UK, but then also as far as Australia. So a lot of the time, I do a little bit of a geography lesson to start, so that people can work out, where you are now and where you've been, and all that sort of thing. So my first question is, where in the world do you live, and why do you live there?
So at the moment, I live in the Dallas Fort Worth area, specifically in Denton, Texas. I'm currently doing my doctoral work at University of North Texas, and yeah, playing in the Dallas Brass Band, soon to be conducting the Dallas Brass Band, um, and also doing a little bit of playing with the Dallas Winds as well.
Tell us a little bit about how you started playing, and was it on cornet or clarinet, or how did you start?
Well, it's a little bit of an interesting story. I originally, before I started playing euphonium, obviously, I thought I was going to be either a saxophone player or a percussionist. And I'm sure you knowing my dad, he was probably, thinking, in bed every night,
Mortified.
oh gosh, well, what am I going to do? And he at the time was conducting the brass band of Columbus, and they often do a joint concert with the New York staff band of the Salvation Army. Um, and at the time, it was the year before I was able to start doing sort of band class. And I heard a euphonium player named Aaron Vanderweel. And he was and still is an absolutely inspiring player, phenomenal player. Um, and so I heard him. He was standing up doing a couple solos with their on their band set, and I was sat with my mom in the audience, and I just said I want to play that instrument because I'd never heard anything that sounded quite like it. And it's hearing, I'm sure Aaron's playing pretty well.
Yes.
Just an absolutely massive sound, just beautiful sound. So that made a huge impression on me. And so after the concert, I went to my dad backstage, and he said, "Oh, do you want to meet Aaron?" And I was thinking, "Oh my gosh, he's like a celebrity to me." Yeah, of course. So I met Aaron, and he offered for me to actually travel up to New Jersey, where he lives, and take like a weekend long kind of lesson or set of lessons. Um, and yeah, I just kind of went from there. And um, about a year after playing, I went up and took lessons with him, and it was again super inspiring. And yeah, that's pretty much how I started, and it's basically thanks to him that I play euphonium now.
What is it that you love about playing the euphonium? Because, I mean, it's one thing being inspired and then starting on an instrument, but then you have to continue that, so the enthusiasm remains there. So, what is it that's drawn you to maintain playing that instrument and wanting to play the euphonium?
I think for me, the biggest thing that I enjoy about the instrument is the sort of versatility that comes with it. You can play it in a solo setting, or in a wind band, or in a brass band, like a lot of other instruments. But particularly in those ensembles, you can kind of be a chameleon in a way. And if you're in the wind band, you can be matching with saxophones, or French horns, or clarinets, or whatever. And in the brass band, it's kind of that. All the instruments can kind of try and sound like each other. So I always have enjoyed that aspect, and just the fact that it's such a new instrument, and there's so much new repertoire being written for the instrument. That's a huge draw for me, and it's something that I'm always interested in seeking out.
Yeah, no, great. And as you say, new repertoire coming out all the time, and it's very exciting from that point of view. That the instrument, unlike the one I play, is relatively new. So yeah, in in more ways than one. This is quite a tricky question for some people, but it's sort of, what would you describe yourself in terms of as a musician? Do you think yourself as a performer, as a teacher, as a conductor, all of the above? What would you say you are within the music sphere?
Yeah, I think I probably am probably all about all of those things. I do quite a bit of performing on the instrument, and obviously the teaching side of things. I teach around the Dallas Fort Worth area as well as at University of North Texas, and coming up soon, I will be doing some conducting with the Dallas Brass Band. So maybe a little bit less playing than I'm doing currently. Hopefully not too much less playing though, because that's the thing that I probably enjoy about as much as anything. So yeah, probably all of the above, I guess.
Looking at the mouthpiece and the equipment that you play on, so what is it that you like about playing the Alliance mouthpiece? Because it's something that's relatively new. I mean, it's only been in the marketplace for, say, the last decade or so. So I just wondered why you wanted to play that particular range of mouthpieces.
That's a good question. There's so many things that I enjoy about playing on that mouthpiece, but I think I've played on it for about 10 or 11 years now, so about as long as they've been out. And the thing I've found, compared to a lot of mouthpieces, is that it's just the most comfortable mouthpiece that I've personally played on, and that's a huge part of brass playing, isn't it? The comfort level. You don't want to be putting something on your face for hours every day, and it be cutting into your face or something like that. And I feel like the Alliance mouthpieces are very well rounded in a lot of ways, but the comfort level is definitely the thing that has kept me playing on that mouthpiece.
I think you've hit the nail on the head there. I don't know many euphonium players, particularly euphonium soloists, that don't do a lot of practice. And so, if you're going to plonk something on your face, you need to make sure that it's going to be comfortable. If you're doing 3, 4, 5 hours of practice a day, so that makes absolute sense. Yeah, exactly. Say if you weren't a musician, then what is it that you'd maybe do instead?
Oh gosh. I don't know if I've been asked that question for a long time. Um, I honestly don't know. I haven't imagined myself doing anything other than being a musician in some way. Um, I don't know. Maybe I would, if I hadn't gone into music, maybe I would have gotten into some sport or something like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because a lot of players that totally immerse themselves in whatever it is that they do, playing, conducting, well, and then maybe getting into arranging and all that aspect, then there's very little room for anything else to happen.
Yeah,
It tends
yeah.
to be the
Especially
thing.
yeah,
So
all the different things that I typically do in music. Yeah, I've just not really had a lot of time to even think about what I could be doing outside of music, I guess.
yeah, no, I mean that's absolutely right, and I think there's a lot of people in that category, in that you just get immersed in it, and you couldn't imagine then doing anything else. Um, I mean, I tend to have whatever aspect of my life it is, music's there in some form. But I do find then, as a result of that, I've got a couple of acres down in the west of England where I go to, and I find that that's a good opportunity then to sort of not think about music, even though I practice while I'm down there. I tend to not be thinking about it, which is perhaps important. But I think the other thing with musicians particularly is, if you're doing lots of different things, it never gets boring.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's always something new on the horizon, I guess.
Thank you very much for taking the time to do this interview, and I'll very much be in touch, and look forward to working with you over the coming years and months.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity.
No problem at all. It's a pleasure.